is funny. That's true. That is funny.
Like
Boots, cats, boots, cats.
my roommate's like nerdy friend. Like should have sat in the library. We were just cracking up at 10 minutes.
Boots, boots, cats, boots, 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 cats. Oh, he's so funny. He's so funny. I guess I could have some more. Oh, my oatmeal's probably done. You know, I make oatmeal, and then I let it sit on the counter for a long time.
Long time.
Sometimes hours, and then I go back to it. And I'm like, Sometimes I eat it cold. Sometimes I warm it up again. Sometimes I put just a little warm water in it so that it can be kind of warm when I'm eating it. But very rarely do I eat it within the first hour of making it. It's like I want the oats to be really super
Soggy?
saturated. Yeah. Yeah. And I like oatmeal soup too. Too much water makes me happy. I kind of like it all different. This is a great shot, methinks. I'm trying to reach for me. Ah! Tonight. Oh, you can totally use the bathroom up here all the time, by the way. I know that Erin's going to make life difficult, but I swear, just try to accept God and move about your own business. Just don't worry too much about it. Really. He'll be fine. He's resilient. He doesn't really like people anyways, so it's really pointless for you to try to get him to feel pleasure with your experience being here. He won't. He doesn't know. Well, you know, he just doesn't know how. Someday. There's a place for us. Somewhere a place for us. I'm pretty sure it's time for us. Time together and time to share. Care. Time for us somewhere. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, I like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. You guys probably want to go, what is she doing? Well, I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm in the house. I'm nearly not with anyone. Well, clearly I'm not with anyone right now because Bree just went downstairs. And the dog is staring out the window until the owner returns. And the cat is, I believe, still outside hunting chipmunks. Possible. Probable. Not sure if I'd call it acceptable. But I am not the cat. And I am not the chipmunk. And I cannot answer for either of them whether the game is good or not. But I do watch her doing it. You hear that? It's the sound of nothing. Do you ever just sit there, like in the sound of nothing, and just watch? I'm watching my floor right now, and it looks like somebody had gotten into a little tussle with a hay roll. A roll of hay? Hay, roll, hay, roll. So it appears as though stars align, and it seems like gravity has something to say in the big picture. Looks like linguistics is a little bit more than just the language that you speak based on the country you were born in. And it seems like culture is something maybe we could consider tasting, like a smorgasbordy. Like a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of this, and then put it on your plate and go and, nibble away. 'Cause that's a big gig. How many people out there are like angry still? Like I'm not in contact with these angry people anymore. I don't even see them. I don't know where they all went. It seems like they're probably still there because there's wars happening. So clearly there's angry people out there. So what's going on in your world, angry people? What do you got to say? Where are we at? 5 minutes? Okay, we're going to use the rest of this time, which I'm not going to speak for long, but why are you so angry? Just tell me. Somebody tell me. I'll take questions. You want to ask me something? Ask me something. Ask me why I'm happy. Ask me what the point of being happy is. Happy does have a tendency to open up that dome piece like, boom! Like, wow. Whoa. What have I been doing this whole time? Why am I not choosing happy? What is it that I like so much about all this pain and all this anxiety and all this misinterpretation and all this misunderstanding and all this human just what is it that I enjoy so much about that kind of thing that I allow myself to disengage from humanity to the degree where I think that my particular version is the best way to do things. I started thinking about this. You get 1,000 consciously driven robots from this country A and 1,000 consciously driven robots from this country B. Yes, they've got this people. You should really be researching. Anyways, and they go out into a desert and they fight over some oil. I know I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again because it's kind of an idea in my head, and I'm really curious to know when the higher-ups are going to kind of get onto this. But it goes back down to force and the hunger to be dominant over another space. Because if you take those 1,000 consciously driven robots in from point A or from person A and put them in a field, and then do the same thing with person B and all their 1,000 robots, and those 1,000 robots from each side like beat each other up, and person B or country B wins, then they get the rights to oil. And they'll be challenged again because there's other countries that'll have, 1,000 consciously driven robots. This is provided we're still digging on countries and regions and borders and boundaries and, lines and all that other stuff that keeps us separated as humans and boxed in. I'm just working with the system that I got right now, but it kind of seems like, who the hell are you to come into my space with your bombs and your guns over some bullshit like this thing that you say is true? And you just kill me? Yeah, when you kill somebody that doesn't want to be killed, you've basically killed me. That's what you're saying. You're looking at my video as a warmonger and saying, she's next. I'm going to find her in this third world country that can't defend itself. Or I'm going to find her in this oil-rich country that will defend itself regardless of whether or not she exists. But we can't let go of that. I mean, let's just say person B just happens to be a tiny country, and person A or country B or A listen to me. Country A is like super like country, and country A loses because country B just happens to have like uber intelligent, consciously driven robots, and they happen to know at that point in history something about how to dominate the playing field. I see that people want to have war, so clearly we need to somehow keep war as something that we can do, because nobody wants to let it go. It's just like perpetuating, and the more we talk about how not to do it, and the more we talk about how bad it is, and the more we try and point at it and tell it it's wrong, it doesn't go, because it is reacting to you pointing at it. Don't point at me. Don't you tell me I can't have war. I want war. Well, shit, man. If you want something, don't you think you should create it in a space that's like safe for other people, namely people like me that don't want war? I like this body, and it seems like other people kind of like their bodies too. Of course, I understand the whole national protection, terrorist, all those things. I get all that. I see all that. I'm not a fool. I've looked at all of it, and it's endless. That train of thinking, that line of thought, that unimaginative. I've never seen a world where I behave peacefully and yet I make judgments as if cause and effect of war is a necessity is happening. I think that that's just plain old obnoxious. a friend of mine the other day said, um, yeah, I just don't agree with college. I just don't agree with college. I think that college is for other people. It's not for me. I know it's not for me. This is a consciously aware human. And I say, how could you make that decision? Well, I can just tell, she says. I can just tell that it's not for me because I'm not about getting a degree. Well, I'm not about getting a degree either. I didn't go to college for way too long, studying way too many things, learning about who I might be to get a degree. That's probably where I messed up in the first place, if in fact I wanted to be a part of that system of degree-seeking individuals so that I could get this degree, have these letters, go out there, be important, and only be important because I've got these letters. People look at this being and they say, oh, PhD, sweet. Let's invite her because she's got a doctorate. Let's invite her because she's paid money to get this brain that she's clearly already had, or else she wouldn't have been able to make it through the system to get the degree and the letters in the first place. But the letters are what now indicates me as a viable functioning source on the planet. Well, this is how she feels as well. However, I went into the college system to see what the experience was like, and I'll tell you, there's a lot of beautiful things happening there. And it isn't always about the degree for everyone else. But don't say that it's a bad environment if you've never been there. You can have no opinion of it at all, in my opinion, but you can't say it's bad. You can't say it doesn't work for you because you've never even tried it. If you honestly feel like college is bad or good, and you've never afforded a moment to go in and actually sit in a classroom and see what it feels like to be alongside other students who are seeking to learn something about their own self, which is what you should be going to school for, is to learn about your own self, not to get a degree, not to get a job that has some like multi-figured, dollar amount attached to it, but just to go and be with people and talk to people and explore yourself and understand yourself and use that same lesson of I can't say if something is bad or good if I've never done it. Well, you could say that killing somebody is bad, and that's your opinion, Adina. I didn't say that killing someone was bad. I said that I prefer not to have my body removed from this planet yet because I got shit to get done. It's my own 12 by 12. Don't invade my space. But each space has the right to be whatever each space wants to be. However, to say that it's right or wrong, killing, that's not for me to say. I can only say that for me, death is the only thing that I can look at and put a firm finger on. That I'm not ready to let this one go yet. Certainly not at the hands of someone else making their own decisions about whether or not I should be alive or not alive. Of course, she gets to have her own opinion of whether or not college is something she's interested in doing, but whether or not college is a bad or a good experience is something that you kind of actually have to go in there and look at it. But you gotta want to find something beautiful in it too. This goes back to the beginning message of being happy. Are you happy? Do you even want to be happy? Why is it that you keep saying all these things about what you don't want and arriving to all of that you don't want every day, rather than saying, this is what I want. I want this. I'd like to be content. And then when things get all wicked, wild, crazy, instead of leaving the situation, you stay, you perpetuate, you antagonize, you give feedback, you feed into it. You're, don't tell me this, don't tell me that. Anyways, I'm just ranting right now because Bree's taking an awfully long time in the bathroom. So, you people, have a blessed, wonderful, spectacular day. Thanks for listening to me once again. I know that we're all in it together and we're all doing what we can, and sometimes I sound like this. Just all there is to it. Love ya.